Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Technicado Pro. This is the second lecture of Docker. In the first lecture, we have seen how to install Docker on a Ubuntu instance. You can refer that video in my channel under Docker playlist. So today we are going to see different commands that are used to create images or download it, and then creating containers from those images, and then after that we'll see how to delete them or different scenarios that can come under. So we'll move ahead and see the basic commands first. So first thing to know that you need to have a root access, or if not, then use sudo before every command. Okay, so I already have the root access, so I'm not going to use sudo. So the first command is docker ps. It will show you all the containers that are running in your system. Correct. Now at the moment there is no container running. So whatever container, if present, they are not running, they are just available. So how to see that? That can be seen by ps-a. -a lists you all the containers or all the processes that are running in the background or that are available in the background. So currently we have nothing. Okay, so we do not have any container, and let's check, do we have any images? Yes, we have. So if you have referred to my previous video, we downloaded this hello world image just to check that our Docker is currently working or not. So hello world, you can see it's a very small repository which we just use to check that Docker is running currently in a correct manner or not. So right now we'll just move ahead, and what we'll do, we'll pull a uh, new image ID from Docker Hub. Now this to pull an image from Docker Hub, we don't have to do anything. We just have to run a pull command. Why? Because Docker Hub is a part of Docker only, and you don't need to provide any authentication in order to connect with it. It is by default connected with Docker Hub only. The the twist is when you want to connect with another repository, like if you have a private repository in your project, or if you are working in AWS directly, you have ECR repositories. If you are working on ECS and all, so then you need to provide an authentication. That is a different way, but we'll learn those things in a future lectures. So currently what we'll do, we'll pull a simple image from Docker Hub. So how to pull that? Using a docker pull command. Docker pull Nginx. Now, in Docker Hub or any repository, these images are stored with the help of a tag. Tag is the version of that particular image ID. So, like if I type just Nginx, what it will do? It will pull the latest image ID into your system. So let's see how it works. Yeah. Now you can see here that what are the different logs that are coming. It is using the default tag as the latest. Correct. Now it is pulling all the libraries for Nginx and downloading everything, pull complete. And this is a SHA-2 certificate, that is a security certificate that it generates, and it has downloaded the newest image for the Nginx. Correct. So if you see now as Docker images, it will show you the latest tag with a image ID of it. Okay, but in case you want to download a specific image ID from the Docker Hub, then you need to provide the tag. Like suppose if I want to pull Nginx 1.23 version only. Okay, so what it will do, it will pull this version only, not the latest version. See, the logs have changed. It is not showing like this. It is not showing default tag as the latest because there is no default tag. We have mentioned which tag to download. So it is downloading the 1.23. Again, SHA-2 certificate is generated for this, and the image is downloaded. So again we'll see Docker images. Now you can see for Nginx there are two different versions available with us, correct? And now what we are going to do, we are going to create a container out of any of these or maybe both of these images, right? So we have now images, we are now going to create a container out of these images, correct? So what we are going to do, we are going to use the run command for creating an image. So docker run, and suppose I am going to run with the help of latest image. I will copy the image id. Remember, always create these containers or images with the help of image id, because that is a unique property of it, correct? So docker run this, and we will run. Now you can see run command gives you the running logs of that particular container. So if there is any problem, you can directly check from there. So you can see that these are it's an entry point shell script that runs here, and all the things are mentioned in that what needs to be done to create a container out of it. So it is using a epoll event method, nginx image, that is the 1.225.5, built by this Debian on a Debian environment, Linux version it is using, and these are the processes that I've started. Now you need to notice one thing, that my server is blocked, like the logs that are going on, it's showing in a form of a shell script. Okay, that once you open a log file, you go into a form of a bash script, and inside that the logs are available. So it has blocked my server. So to come out of it, I need to stop it, correct? Now uh, if I check now docker ps, it is again not showing any container. Why? Because I have exited the container. If you see here, I have exited the container, and once you exit the container is in a stopped state. Okay, container is available. If you see here docker ps-a, the container is available, right? This was the image id with 448 we started. If you see here, this was the image id that we used here. It's available, but it's not in a running state. So what we need to do is that every time we are running the run command and we are exiting it, the docker container stops. So how to stop that? We need to run this container in the backend in a detached form. Detached form means that it won't any other command which is running in the front end, it won't affect it. So how to do that? Docker run -d in a detached manner. Okay, use this image id and run it. So it has given you a container id here. Now if you do docker ps, see the container is now up and running, created 7 seconds, status up only 6 seconds ago. So this is the new one, and you can see here the name is again changed. Previously it was lucid bava. So these names are been provided by default. Sorry, random names are provided if you are not providing it yourself, correct? So we'll move ahead. So this was the first one, and what other images we had? Correct. So we had this latest one. So you can run the container for this one. Same process. Docker run -d and use this particular image. Correct. Docker ps again. Now two of the containers are running. So this will keep running unless you stop it. So you can have multiple containers in a server, but it is suggested that you don't run more than 2 or 3 containers, and especially if they are not of very large uh, storage. Yes. Now moving ahead, there is one more thing that we can do. Like I showed you, we have to run first docker run command, and then we have to run docker pull, run, then pull. Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Pull command and then run. So first you pull the image and then you run that image ID, then you create a container. But what you can do here is you can directly use the run command. So suppose if you use docker run -d in a detached manner, okay, and you use the image of nginx with a different tag, like suppose 1.22, correct? Now here you can see that we do not have the image ID of this Docker Nginx 1.22 already before in our system. You can check this here, Docker images, correct? We don't have the 1.22. So what we'll do, we will just Docker run -d 1.22, correct? Now check this here. Unable to find the local image nginx 1.22 locally, so it has downloaded it. Same things are available, and it has generated a container ID also. Let's check these things first. Docker images 1.22 is available with image ID this, correct? Now docker ps. Now ps, see, this is the container ID 9f55 9f55. The new container is also started, so you don't need to, every time you don't need to do docker pull and docker run. By default docker run will pull the images and then only will do. So it doesn't matter if it's available on your local system or on your server, it will pull the image ID from the docker hub only, correct? So these were the some basics command. Now we will have one more thing called as port binding. What is port binding? So if you can see here, like these are the ports available for all the docker containers. So these are the default ports that are assigned to access any docker container, that is the 80 port with a tcp connection. Now uh, if you want to access your container, whatever application is stored on your container via web UI, you need to expose it to your local host IP. And how you are going to do it? You are going to do it with the help of port binding. So what is port binding? Port binding is assigning some random port number to port number 80. That means you need to assign one particular port and mention it in your security groups for your AWS instance, and you tag it to your 80 port number. And by doing this you can access your particular uh, IP, your local host system, through the web browser, correct? So how we are going to do it, let's check it out. Yeah, so let's check how to do port binding. First, we will see which containers are running here. So we have these one. So what we are going to do is we will first use stop any of these containers. Okay, so maybe this one. Let's copy it, and we need to first stop it. Correct, this is stopped. Now for port binding, what we are going to do is we will run this particular uh, container in a detached manner and do a port binding. So how we'll do, this is detached manner, port binding, and which port we are going to bind, 80. With which port? We will take now 9000 as a random port, and then we will give this container ID. Sorry, we had to give, sorry, image ID we had to give. Sorry, Docker images, and which one we stopped. Anyways, let's just start with the other one, Docker run And which image id we are going to use. Let's use this one. Correct. So it has given me a container id. Correct. Now we have to access this via web UI. So what we will do, we will go to this particular instance. We will see this IP, use HTTP, and we have bounded to 9000. Yeah, see, we have got the welcome page of the Nginx. So that means our Docker container is reachable via UI. So these are the basic steps. And like I told you, I have shown you the Docker stop command also, how to stop it. And these are the basic commands that you need to understand for Docker. In the next session, we will understand Docker file, how to create those Docker files, what are the different commands that are needed inside it, and what does it mean. Okay, thank you.